welcome back. We're on day 3 of 8 days a week, 8 videos in 8 days leading up to Valentine's Day, 8 videos to a better marriage. The first video we talked about effort, the second video we talked about gratitude. Today, we want to talk about focus, and it kind of ties in with what we talked about with gratitude, so it's going to be a follow-up or an add-on to gratitude. So what do I mean by focus? Well, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. We've got strengths and we've got weaknesses, and they're tied together. You can't have strengths without weaknesses. For instance, I'm really good with people. I'm not so good with paperwork. Those two go together. I have to manage this weakness enough so that I don't get fired, but I'm never going to be good at it because this is my strength. And when we meet somebody, we see all their strengths. We're kind of blinded by their strengths. When I met my wife, all I could see was her strengths. All I could see was that she was beautiful, that she dressed nice, that she was gorgeous, that she seemed very kind, and that's about it. It's a pretty myopic view, right? And these people are annoying. If it stays here, it's like junior high, where people say things like, oh, he's so perfect. It's not realistic, right? And so we meet, and all I know are all her strengths. And we start dating. And we go to Cicero's in the Loop. It's a pizza place that's been closed for a few years now. And I was about 5 minutes late or so, which is kind of on time for me. And that was not on time for her. And we had our first argument. And so suddenly, I become aware of something in the background. There's some kind of weakness back there, right? And she needs to calm down, is what I thought. We hadn't been dating long enough to fight, but she thought differently. And as we go, we really start to like each other. And we start to think this might be something that we might want to commit to. And so she is sprinting towards marriage, and I am crawling towards marriage, and there's tension. And I'm becoming more aware of this stuff in the background. And we get married, and that's great. We're happy, and now she wants to have kids, and so she's sprinting towards having kids, and I'm crawling towards having kids, and there's tension. And I'm becoming much more aware of her weaknesses, and she is becoming really aware of mine. And then we have a kid, and that's great. And then she wants another, and that's great because I wanted one too. And now we're, one-on-one with our kids. And then she wants a third kid, and I don't want a third kid because I was done doing diapers, and she wanted to have one more kid, and so we have another kid, and now we're outmanned. And there's 3 of them and 2 of us, and we're passing each other in the hallway at 2 a.m. to go get a screaming child, each a different one, and thinking, what happened to my life? And if we're not careful, our marriage erodes in its focus. And now I am clearly more aware of her weaknesses than I am of her strengths. And some people come to marriage therapy and say, I never loved that person. I never loved him or her. And I say that just can't be true. You don't stand at the altar or the justice of the peace or the pastor or the priest, the Vegas wedding chapel, and say, I do to somebody you don't love. It erodes to that. All marriages are guilty of erosion. And so we focus more on their weaknesses than their strengths. It is my job to shift the focus back to here. And so let me tell you a quick story. It happened in aisle 7 of Deerberg's back when the Rams were a good football team, and they actually used to be in St. Louis. I know it's hard to believe, but they were here in St. Louis, and they were good for about 2 or 3 years. And it was can't miss TV. We're driving home from church one time, super fast to get to a noon game. And my wife says, hey, can we stop by the store real quick? There's no real quick going to the store for her. She's a chef and a foodie, and she loves to shop for food. She loves to think about it and create things. And I said, do you mean grocery shopping? Because when I get anxious, my voice goes up. She said, I just want to make some stuff for the game. And I thought, okay. We get to aisle 7. She's got a can of beans and a can of beans. And she's looking at 2 cans of beans at the ingredient level. And I'm like, pick one, let's go. She gets mad at me. I walk to the end of the aisle. I turn around and I look at her and I think, I am such a jerk. That's exactly who I married. It's not a surprise. She didn't change. And I had eroded to here. I was much more focused on her weaknesses than her strengths. And in that moment, I shifted. And I walked up and I said, take your time. I'm going to watch all the replays. I've recorded the game. I'm losing my marriage. I'm getting angry over something that you love. She has a passion and it's food, and my passion was football. And how can I not let her have her passion when I want my passion? And in that moment, my focus shifted to her strengths. And we had a much better day after that. So today, I want you to, for the next week, focus on your partner's strengths rather than their weaknesses. It's hard, it's difficult, but things will go much better. We'll see you soon.